We feel privileged to have Dr. Y.K. Gupta, President Sai India, as a chief guest among us. May I take the pleasure of requesting Sir for the presidential address. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much for organizing this wonderful event and inviting me. And I would say a great thank you to my very good, very old friend, Dr. Ramesh Goyal, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of this prestigious university. And I was really impressed by his talk and by his dedication, and the entire team of Dipsaru for organizing this conference and also pre-conference workshop which they have been doing. And also my thanks to Dr. Patil and Dr. Anup and many others. I'm not going to name, but I can see Dr. Harvinder Popli and Dr. Sahu and many others, Dean of the university, to make this event a success. And I also thanks to Ankita Pandey, who is the policy advisor, director of PETA, for being with us, with this society right from inception and promoting the cause of our society. And I also thank Dr. I not thank, but I think I should not thank Dr. Akbar because he is the creator of this society. And we all are very indebted to Dr. Akbar Shah, who conceptualized that we should have a society of this type to promote the science of alternate to animal experimentation. And 4 years back, he thought that we should make a society, and we made it. And now rest is entire a success story. Never I've seen a society with such a growth in terms of a membership, in terms of a widening the activity, and in terms of a being recognized by the scientists and by the government and by policymakers. So thank you very much. And I will say a big applause to Dr. Akbar Shah. So Dr. Akbar Shah, thank you very much. And I see my another extreme friend, Dr. Raisuddin Saab, who is the vice president of this, and he has been right from the beginning in identifying, and we had a series of meetings in his office, in his place, to decide how to work and how to take this forward, this society. And also Dr. Vijay Pal, Dr. Mohanan, Dr. Rohit Seth, and so many others. And also my international colleagues, who not only provided the technical support, but also the support in mobilizing the international community and knitting this society in a much more powerful manner. This is our 4th meeting. And in the first meeting, it was a grand success. The second meeting, I do not know how to increase the vocabulary, to increase the grand and the grandeur and the grandest success today, what we are having is the international meeting where more than 1,500 participants are connected. So great clap and great appreciation to the entire team of this. So thank you very much. Now to say what already has been said by so many speakers, without doubling, I have just to take off my presentation because of it would have been almost a duplication for that. If you just understand, are we here to say that no, animal experimentation are rubbish? The only answer is in vitro, in cell or chips? Perhaps no. That's not the purpose of this society. Purpose of this society is, can we use alternate method and reduce as much as possible animal experimentation without compromising science, without compromising the safety, without compromising the evaluation of efficacy. The science is a dynamic process. There was a science in long back, maybe 1,000 years ago, from the time of Shushruta, from the time of all those days, where experience was the most important evidence. You see how the system works. There is, and first there is, if I just say there is an intuition first, yeah, this is the herb, it may work. And then there is a perception. That means I have seen that some few people have taken it and some of them, they got relief from the pain or they got relief from anxiety. And my perception is that if a cat crosses 10 times, this will create harm. Perception. But then gradually it becomes experience. And when I say experience means out of 10 times, 6 times it worked good, 4 times it did not work. And this experience you increase by doing evidence-based research component or evidence-based research by appropriate number, appropriate methodology, and then you come to the evidence and then you evidence-based medicine. In this entire process, the time taken to reach from intuition to perception to experience to evidence and maturity of evidence with the caveats, it is a long process. So what we did, we want to have more surety, more clarity, and therefore we started doing experimentation on animals because that will provide you some similarity of genetic similarity in human analogy as much as possible, 40% to 90% human analogy, and therefore we started working on animals. The nearest animal was monkey, dog, cat. So we started working on that. But when you say rightfully, it is not permanent right. It is to be temporally correct. It has to be contemporary. So what Dr. Goel said, that when we were doing our MD, we used to run after dog, catch them, do the experiment and find the evidence. But then I was very happy. But then gradually, everybody thought, can this dog be replaced by some lower animals? So we started finding whether the rat and cat can give the same effect on the blood pressure, antihypertensive drug. Can this rat and cat be better model for doing anti-psychiatric or psychotic drug analysis? And we found that yes, there is a simulated method, better method. And therefore there is no need to sacrifice the dog, cat, pig. But then there was some caveats. And then we also gradually science evolved. And then when the science evolved, and then we found, there is less need of cat, rat, because we can do the same evidence generation by doing the experiment in Drosophila and C. elegans. Now zebrafish. Now zebrafish is being used by including small labs, including small academic institutions, which can predict not only the efficacy, not only the toxicity of, almost rather say, it can predict almost every model can be developed with that. Starting from pain, starting from anxiety, starting from antihypertensive, mutagenicity, tox. There are increasing number of models which we people are validating, developing, validating in zebrafish, including the small or so-called peripheral institution. And I have been seeing this institution, a pharmacy institution across the country, including the institution where I visit sometimes, the ISF College Moga. People have, there is this wonderful developed zebrafish lab, and compared to the very, very high-tech developed zebrafish lab in ILS, or maybe the Institute of Life Sciences, the Reddy's Institute of Life Sciences in Hyderabad, or in IICT, or maybe IICT Hyderabad, and also at a couple of other institutions. Drosophila is an animal, is not an animal, is an insect, which can predict not only the neuron based toxicity, efficacy, but also several toxicity because of pesticide and environmental toxins. Now, this has also been used as a genetic modified Drosophila, C. elegans. Now, the important thing is there are 2-3 important things. And then we means, when I say we means the scientific community working on drug development process toxicology, started working on, can the same enzymatic system, can the same dynamics, can the same kinetics be reflected in a computer simulation model? And that is nothing but what you call as a chip, organ on chip. And it was found, yes, it is possible. It is possible that you develop a simulation and what is put into the chip, the entire program, and then you virtually inject a drug and see the effect, which will be reflection what is happening on the human being. And you incorporate a number of enzymatic alternate mechanism. You also incorporate the number of variables which can be there because of physiological, because of pathological changes which can happen. And then you develop, it's almost, not 100%, like an organ. Making organ on chip is a complex process. You have to make a cell which is in a identity itself. Then making a cell in a very systematic joint, it becomes an organ. And then this organ has to connect with many organs to give it a compounded picture of a drug or of a response of a diet, food, drug, or environment. Now, if I say, if I want to test a blood pressure changing effect of a drug, a new drug, can I use a cell line? Perhaps no, because it will give effect on the cell, but it can give what the mortality, what the toxicity on the cell is. Can I do this in a rat alone? Perhaps yes, but perhaps no, because it may not reflect 100% what is going to happen in human being. But then, can a clinical trial reflect? Perhaps yes, but perhaps partly no, because it may be different response in some of the individual. And that's why there is a pharmacovigilance or the PSUR or PMS studies. So this is a process. We are now working on where and how much and to what extent alternate to animal experimentation can be initiated. Primarily because we want to be reducing the burden on animal, ethically more correct, mentally we are satisfied that we are not harming unnecessarily, but and yet satisfying the evidence needed for the science. And that is the development of alternative to animal experimentation. What is most important thing is, a lab is working on animal experimentation, alternate animal experimentation, maybe zebrafish, maybe Drosophila, maybe C. elegans, or maybe microbiological assay, or maybe organ and chips in one institution. The other institution does not know what he is working, and therefore he continues to work on a different model, and the third person publishes in the third model. The better strategy, which I would say, that these A institution, B institution, and C investigator, they join hand. That is the purpose of the society, and understand each other, validate a model, crystallize this model methodology, validate model, mature this model, and make this as an alternate. A publication doesn't make an alternate model. Publication will make only a suggestion. Validation will make perhaps a model, suggested model, but incorporation of this model into the regulatory system, into acceptable evidence, will make it an alternate model. So when our objective is Society for Alternate to Animal Experimentation is not only to publish work, is not only to work on this, but to join hands, consolidate results, make a big case, and submit it for regulatory agency. And this regulatory agency is then based on the evidence which we have generated, will put this as an acceptable regulatory issue. That was our objective. I have seen in a couple of forums, whether it's the DBT, ICMR, people asking for fund for organ on chip projects. IIT Delhi, IIT Madras, and many other academic institutions are working on organ and chips. IITs are working on organ and chips. Imagine, because they have inclination of technology. But then biologists, toxicologists must chip in as an equal stakeholder in that. And then give a validation. Validation cannot come from an IIT alone. Validation has to come from biologists, ICB or maybe IISc or maybe College of Pharmacy or maybe like that. They have to work in combination with the computational science and with the chemistry or maybe the biotechnologists or the data analytics to work on this. And recently, I have visited one of the GLP laboratory. They are working on organ and chips, developing skin and artificial skin, but incidentally, they were not aware of how many institutions in India are working on organ and chips, particularly developing artificial skin. That was an unfortunate thing. Because if there is a CLRI, Central Leather Institute is working, even the Institute of Moga is working, in the institute, there are 5-6 institutions working on wound healing institutions, like wound healing property on the isolated skin, organ and chips. There are some institutions working on dialyzing membrane and making as an artificial kidney to look for what can be the hemodialyzing fluid, which is better, but in a disjointed, in silo activity. What is required today is that through this type of mechanism, through this society, we spread this news, we spread this information across our member. You see, this is the wonderful activities which is being done by Dr. Akbar Shah's lab. This is the activity profile which is done by DIPSARU. This is the activity lab which is done by IIT Delhi, Madras, and this is the platform which we have created where there is the international support also. I was just talking to, I think there was a meeting with FX0 committee just 2-3 days back where Dr. Akbar Shah was on VC, I was on VC, Dr. Raisuddin and Dr. Patil. The international companies are interested as a partner to give of technical support, and they also see that India is a big business partner, not because they want to make money, but they want to see what is the academic exchange possibility here. Huge. So finally, I would say 3D printing, whether you call as a 3D printing, whether you call as a organ on chip, whether you call as a new culture methods, there is a tremendous possibility where we can develop more and more method. The objective should be develop a method, validate it, publish it or patent it, and then use or influence many others to adopt that and then approach the regulator, or that should be the science. Who will fund it? Funding of these is a difficult thing, but the government of India is welcoming this, including ICMR and DBT is welcoming to have projects. And if there are projects which are collaborative projects, it will fund better. We are also looking the exploratory possibility or exploratory efforts if industry which are requiring an toxicological study and finding it difficult to use animals, larger animals, they should fund it, the research projects, because ultimately, if in vitro or in silico or any experimental or alternate animals becomes a regulatory acceptable thing, it will be easy for them. So putting money into an expected science or anticipated science benefit is a wise decision. Investment, the return of investment is always a concern, is always one of the criteria for industry. But our responsibility is to tell them what is the return of investment. What you are investing today will be your return tomorrow, and through science. That is what is, I think. And we have so many laboratories, more than 50 laboratories now, 50 laboratories of GLP compliant, and many of them are working on isolated or maybe on alternate to animal experimentation. We should knit them, make them members, take them on board, and work in uniformity. Finally, I would say our society, SAAE, I would say this is, people should not just remember this is Sai India, may not be remembering what is the full form. So must remember what is the full form of SAE India. Otherwise, it will become an acronym. Must remember what is the philosophy. We are not fighting with those groups which say, including me, which say the animal experimentation is a must. I am not saying that without animal experimentation, nothing can happen, but it can be minimized. It can be rationalized using R principle. I am saying extending this R, 3R was the initial. When you say reduce, now there are multiple R's. Reduce, refine, replace, rehabilitate, regulate, and then use them. So using this R principle, bringing these alternate models to the regulatory requirement, making a unified attempt is our objective. So again, I congratulate my fellow colleagues here for making this society very strong and this conference very successful. And again, my thanks to my friend, Dr. Akbar Shah and Dr. Raisuddin and all others. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.